Good morning, everyone. Okay, so am I audible? If anybody just can acknowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in our previous session, we have discussed about the three types of the times that were optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely time. In today's session, we are going to learn about the approach for the network analysis. So this module which we are doing comes under the head category of nonlinear optimization. And in this particular nonlinear optimization, we are doing the category of the network analysis. So why we are calling it to be the network analysis? Because there are different activities. We would be just looking into the graph format, how the activities can be just represented in the different format of the graph. And this particular graph format resembles to the network structure. Probably you would have learned in your computer network subject about the distribution of the nodes, the distribution of the routers, the edges in between them, the path linkage, and the switch hub. So like this type of the structure you will be seeing once we develop the entire network graph. So let's proceed directly to the question, and with the reference to the question I will be explaining multiple different terminologies. So you can just open your notebook and let me just share my whiteboard screen so that it's visible to you all. Okay, so let's start discussing about the network analysis. The module name is network analysis. Now, why it is called as the network? The reason is that if you just look forward for your computer network subject, at that time, let's say there is one router over here, the router node you are having. And from this router node, you will be transferring the data packet to another router node, let's say R2. From this R2, you would be again transferring your data packet node to another router node, let's say R3. Okay, so I was getting the message that my voice was lagging. So I'll just try to switch over to some another network. So hopefully it works for now. Fine. So what is the general agenda over here? That let's say you are having the data packet, then you would be transferring the data packet from router 1 to router 2. Then again, you will be transferring your data packet from router 2 to router 3. Same again, let's say in this router 3, you are having multiple linkages. You are having multiple linkages, let's say R4 also. R4 also. So what's happening over here, if you just closely observe, then R1 is transferring to R2. Then for R2, let's say the router R2, the predecessor router is R1. For R3, the previous router is R2. Again, for R3, the previous router is also R4. Why? Because you are having multiple links over here. You are having multiple links over here. So that means that for reaching R3, the R3 can be reached through this R4 also and R2 also. Similarly, if you just closely observe, if I am having over here, let's say R5, then for R5, your previous router node can be R4. R1, let's say the previous node router is nothing because it is not dependent on any of the router node. R4, the previous router node is nothing. So what I've done, I've simply represented this entire graph into this type of the tabular format. These are all the predecessors routers. If I just want to represent it in the reverse format, then what can I do? Let me just erase this thing. What I will be doing, I will be simply picking up the independent node. I will be picking up the independent node. Independent node is nothing but the starting node. That is the starting node. Why the starting nodes are called as the independent? Because they are not dependent on the previous routers. They are not dependent on the previous any cases. So how can I come to know which is the independent node? It's this one. It's these two nodes. Because I have put over here dash, that means it doesn't depend on any other node. Simply it doesn't depend on any another node. So I have put over here dash. So if I just want to draw the network diagram for this particular type of the structure, then what I'll be doing? I will be simply doing R1, R4. Why? Because they are independent nodes. So I'll just put over here these two nodes. Let's start with this one, R2. R2 is dependent on R1 because the previous node is R1. So what I will be doing, I will be just drawing R2. R3 is dependent on R2 and R4. R3 is dependent on R2 and R4. So what I will be doing, R3 and R4, R3 is dependent on R2 as well as R4. So that means these both nodes will be having a common junction. These both nodes will be having a common junction. Why a common junction? Because R3 is dependent on both of these nodes. So what I can do over here, I can simply join these two nodes. Let's say R3 is over here. Then I can simply have this type of the structure. That means both these nodes, this R2 and R4, are linking to this particular node R3. Same R5 is dependent on R4, so I can have like this R5. So this is how, given these particular things, you can draw this type of the graph, and this is known as the network graph. Network graph. Now, in case of all these particular routers, you can assume activities. You can assume activities. You can assume activities. We will be looking into the case studies of this particular activity-based graph in our upcoming sessions. But as of now, we are only learning how to draw the network graph. Because having drawn the network graph, it becomes easy for us to calculate different things. So we are first of all focusing only on the network graph. With the reference of this particular network graph, we will be looking forward for the another type of the step, that is nothing but calculation of the critical path. So what is the critical path? I will be just letting you all know. Okay, so till this point of time, anybody having any doubt how to convert this into this or how to convert this into this? Is it clear? Anybody having any doubt? Okay. So let me just write one example, or let me just have one of the case study over here. I have received 4 acknowledgements that it's clear. So let me proceed further. Let's say I'm writing over here activity. I'm making this table. So this type of the table will be there. Let me just have T optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic. And predecessor. I guess I made a spelling mistake over here. So it's predecessor. So let me just write over here the activity names. Okay. I'm just assuming that you all would be writing these things. And I will be writing over your predecessor. This particular column has been intentionally left blank because we would be calculating the average time of the activity time over here. This won't be given in your exam, or this won't be given, we say it in your question, because this you need to find it out by your own self. Okay, so the predecessors activity are, let's say, dash, dash, and dash, 3 dashes. Then let me have it over here, A, B, C. Then again, let's C, E, and F, D, H, and G. So this is what you have been given as the entire data for the activity. So what it means that for activity A, let's have the interpretation. For let activity A, this is the optimal time, this is the most likely time, and this is the pessimistic time. Optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic time for performing this activity A. And activity A doesn't have any of the predecessors. Activity A doesn't have any of the predecessors. What are the predecessors? You can call it as the prerequisite. Prerequisite. That means in order to have this particular activity A, you are having the prerequisite of this all the activities. So in front of A, you don't have any of the prerequisites. It's something like you can just assume the chocolate manufacturing company. Let's say the activity is of the wrapping up of the chocolates. Let's say the activity is wrapping the chocolate using the wrapper. Now, this activity is having the prerequisite activity of manufacturing the chocolate. You can't just have the wrapper of the chocolate without manufacturing it. So that means that this particular activity can only be taken into account once you have manufactured the entire chocolate. So this is the same thing. Activity A doesn't have any of the predecessor, but let's say activity H. Activity H. Activity H takes 4 units of time as the optimistic, 4 units as the most likely time, 10 units as the pessimistic time, and it has the two predecessors activity, that is E and F. E and F. So this is how you can interpret this particular question. Now let's have the time of the activity. Let's calculate the time of the activity, and we know that time of the activity can be calculated as TO plus TP plus 4 into Tm divided by 6. This is what we have seen in our previous lecture session. I guess on Monday, we have seen this formula. So I will be requesting everybody to just calculate all these TAs and let me know. Quickly just calculate these TAs and let me know. For the first, I am doing 5 plus 7, it's 12, plus 4 into Tm, so it's 24, divided by 6, so it's 6. 36 divided by 6, so it's 6. Same thing you can just calculate for the remaining activities and just let me know what are the activity time. Okay, I got the response from Prerna 634. Let me just write 634. Then 235, 235, 3553. So everybody just calculate the activity time. Okay, so I hope this particular calculation of the activity time will be done. If not, then you can just copy the activity time that has been mentioned over here. So let's now start drawing the network diagram. Okay, you require enough space to draw the network diagram. So preferably I would be saying that you just switch down to your landscape mode in your notebook. So you would be understanding what I mean to say by landscape mode. You draw it in the form of the height wise. Let's say you would be having this particular notebook, then your network diagram will be spreaded in this particular mode. So you just change your notebook into this particular manner and you can draw it. Okay. So what we are having over here, you first of all, the first step, listen to this particular process very carefully. The first step is to find out the initial starting point. First step is to find out the starting point. The first step is to find out the starting point. Which is the starting point? So the starting point is a point which doesn't have any of the predecessor's activity. That means it doesn't depend on any of the prerequisite activity. It doesn't depend on any of the previous activity. So in this particular case, we are having three activities which are not having any dependencies on the previous activities. So you can say that, okay, let me just have this particular one as my starting point. And I will be drawing these three activities. I will be drawing these three activities, that is A, B, and C. Why? Because they are not dependent on any of the activities. So I will be having this A, B, and C. A, B, and C. What I've done, I've just mentioned that, okay, this is my starting point. This is my starting point. And from this starting point, I'm just drawing the three activities A, B, C because they are not dependent on any of the activities. So they can be started parallelly. If you remember in our previous questions, whenever we were having the job assignments or the transportation, we were not able to do any of the parallel activities. We need to have the serialization. We need to have the serialization. We cannot do the parallel activities. In this particular case, we are having the parallel activities. Why? Because it is the non-linear optimization. In that particular case, we used to have the linear optimization. Okay, just give the label as 2, 3, and 4. Try to maintain this sequence that if A is there first, then you give it 2. If B is there second, then you give it 3. If C is there third, then you give it 4. Try to make it the sequence like that. Now, move to the next activity, D. D is dependent on A. So that means D will be the activity which will be followed by A. So over here, you can have it like D. You can give the continuation of the node number, that is 5. E is the activity which is dependent on B. So B is over here, so you can draw it like this E. Node number 6. F is the activity which is dependent on C. So F is the activity which is dependent on C. G is the activity which is dependent on C. So over here, again, I will be writing G. Okay. Now over here, everybody just focus over here. H is the activity which is dependent on E and F both. I have intentionally made over here mistake. If you would be drawing using your pen, then definitely you would be in the trouble because I have intentionally made over here the mistake to just show you. the difference that you need to consider. Over here, H is the activity which is dependent on E and F both. So that means there needs to be the conjunction over here, E and F. There needs to be having a junction plotted over this E and F. This E and F are two separate activities. You can see over here. E and F are two separate activities which is having two different separate nodes. But for this particular activity H, you need to have a common node, that is E and F. For this H, you need to have a common node, that is E and F. So what you need to do, you simply need to erase this thing. And you need to erase this node number. And what you need to do, you simply need to merge this both, E and F. So why we have done this thing? Because E and F are the common predecessors for this H. That means both these activities needs to be completed at the same time. So this G will be given the node number 7 instead of 8. Okay. Now, coming back to our this particular case, H is the activity followed by E and F. So over here, E and F is there. So H will be the activity followed by E and F with 8. Okay, I'll be explaining this particular network diagram again. First, I will be completing the entire network diagram. Then again, I will be erasing and explaining it. Next is I. I is the activity which is after D. So over here, I is the activity which is after D. Now, J is the another activity which is after H and G. H and G. So again, see over here, H and G are the combined activities. H and G are the combined activities. So you can't draw this particular node separately. You need to have this particular H and G to be merged. And then it will be J. So what we have done, this entire network diagram will be again refined. I'm not saying this is the complete network diagram. I'm again refining it. So what we have done, we have simply merged these activities to form our this particular predecessor. H and G needs to be merged. Then E and F needs to be merged. Now over here, if you just look closely, then after 7, there is no 8. So I will be giving over here the number 8. And I will be giving over here the number 9. These are the node numbers. Now again, if you look over here, this node and this node are floating nodes. That means they are the end terminating nodes. So we can't have the terminating nodes like this one. Multiple terminating nodes we can't have. Why? Because it means that for a particular network, you are having a single starting point. One starting point. Then in the same network, you need to have a one ending point. But in this case, you are having two ending points. So what we need to do, we need to simply merge these things. So J and I will be merged because they are nothing but the end activities. So you can see there is only a one end point. Okay. Now, again, erasing this entire activity diagram, and I will be again explaining this network graph. Those who have at least got 50%, if you will be focusing over here, then you will be getting the entire 100%. Okay. So what I will be looking over here. Now, how you will be approaching your this question, you don't need to have this wiping out every time. You simply need to focus on one or two aspects only, and then you can just have a easy go. First of all, starting point. Which is the starting point? The activity which doesn't have any of the predecessors. Over this three activities doesn't have the predecessor, so you will be just having over here 1 and write 3 starting points, A, B, C. Now, listen to this statement very carefully, everyone. Listen to this statement very carefully. While drawing a particular activity, you need to look forward for the predecessor, whether that particular activity is associated with any of the predecessor or not. If it is associated with the predecessor, then you need to merge the activity. So that will help you resolve your particular case of wiping out the entire link. How? Let's see. Let's look forward for the next activity, D. D is the activity which is followed by A. After A, we are having D. And this D is over here as a single activity. So it's not of any issue. If it is not a single activity in the predecessor, then you have to merge. But this D is a single activity. So there is no issue. So D is after A. So over here, you will be giving node number 2, 3, and 4. So let me write over here D, it's 5. Okay. Next is E. E is the activity after B. E is the activity after B, and E is also having the association with F. E is also having the association with F. So that means E and F will be merged, but over here till F is not came. So we can just draw E after B. Now let's move forward for the next activity, that is F. F is after C, but F is also associated with E. So E and F are over here conjunction. E and F are over here conjunction. Yes.
Why did you write 4 on the C?
Okay. Because
On this C approaching.
Right. See over here, why we have written 4? Because we are having over here 1 as a starting point. Then we are having the 3 activities A, B, and C associated with the same starting point because they are not dependent on any of the other activity. So we need to have over here A with the node 2, B with the node 3, and C with the node 4. Now, if I would be having over here, let's say A comma C like this one, just for the example, if I would be having over here A comma C like this one, then what I will be doing, 1 over here, then A will be there with 2, B will be there with 3, and A and C are merged. A and C are merged, so I will be having over here like this one. This is C. So you need to look forward for whether the activities are merged or not. Whether the activities are merged as the predecessor or not. If they would be merged, then that means you need to have a common single node. But over here, if you can just see in our previous case where A and C were not merged, there is no merging of A and C. So we need to give the individual node name to this particular C. Does that solve your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So we were at this point E is followed by B. So we can see that, okay, E is followed after this B. So we would be writing E over here with node number 6. F is after C, but it is also along with E and F. This E and F is one of the predecessor which is combined. So that means you need to have E and F combined. So you need to draw F after C, but you need to have it combined with E because of this activity. So what we are doing, F is after C. So draw F after C, and also E and F are combined. So E you have already drawn. So you can just extend this F to this particular node number 6. Now focus on the next activity, that is G. G is after C. So you can have it over here like this G. You can have it H. You can have it H. H is after EF. H is after EF. So that means H will be starting from here. But if you just look over here, H is also a predecessor with G. H is also combined with G. So you need to draw this particular link, H. So what it means, H is after E and F. Yes, H is after E and F. In the next futuristic activities, you will be having H and G combined. So you have also drawn, from now only you have drawn H and G. So that you don't need to have the wiping out of your links. Next is I. I after D. I after D. So you can draw it like this one, 8. And next is J. J is after H and G. And this is the last activity. So we need to have a single ending point. So we can directly have this one, J. So a single start point and a single end point. So this is what we call it to be the network graph. You can see this is nothing but a typical networking structure that you have seen in your computer networks. Now I will be giving you 1 minute. I will be giving you 1 minute. And if you are having any of the question, then you can ask me. I will be again suggesting that you draw this entire network graph. Again, I've explained this entire network graph 2 times. So I assume that you will be drawing the network graph again for the same question, because without this network graph, you cannot solve any of the question. So that's the reason I'm focusing more on the network graph. I'm going too slow so that you can get the things very clearly. Within 1 minute, you can just draw the network graph again. And you can ask me the question if you are having any of the questions.